YouTube Tuesday from Barnabas Junction, brought to you in association with the Model Railway YouTube Community Group, MRYCG, connecting the Model Railway community together. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Just search for MRYCG. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's YouTube Tuesday with me, Jason, at Barnabas Junction. Good evening to every single one of you for joining me. Already plenty of you in the chat joining me already. So big thank you to Craig, who's just done his own weekly live stream. It's on week 2. Did have a few technical issues at the end, but all good stream no matter what. So thank you very much. If you wanted to watch a live stream then every week before me, then join Craig over at New Durham Junction from 7 p.m. till whenever his dog knocks his router out and cuts his internet off. So well done, George. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me this week on YouTube Tuesday. Very lucky, actually, because I wasn't feeling too good this week and I nearly ended up not doing this week's show. But thanks to a few tablets, I'm feeling much better now. How are we? Have we had a good week since last week? What have you been up to in your modelling world? Let us know in the chat down below. And talking to chat, let's have a look at everybody that's in there already. Let's take you back to the beginning. Flymo Chairman 1, good evening to you. My number 1 mega mod. Malvern Junction, good evening to you. Dinmore Junction Model Railway, good evening to you. Gary of Leicester Station and TMD. Good evening, Gary. Nice to see you. He says, sorry, I've not been much. No problem. You can come in whenever you wish. You don't have to be here. You can watch them on the replay afterwards if you wish to. John A. Dawson says, good evening, afternoon, everybody. He says, actually, he's doing some work, so he's listening in the background. So, John, if you can hear me, good afternoon. Who else have we got in? John Dawson there again. Brian of Finnerton Central, Digger Evans Model Railway, my other mega mod. Good evening, Digger. Cheers for joining us. Those 2 mega mods do already have this week's shout out, so we'll be getting on with the first one very soon. Clive Cabold, good evening, Clive. Thanks for joining us again. Who else have we got in I've not mentioned yet? Clybridge Station, evening, everybody, he says. Evening to you, Clybridge. Thank you for joining us. Who else is in already? If you're not in yet and you're watching, come and join us in the chat and say hello. Say hi to everybody else that's joining us, chatting away in the live chat as the show is being broadcast live. If not, if you're watching it on the replay, then drop us a hello in the comments and I'll give you a hello back. Jeff Reedman, Jumble Lane, Model Railway. Good evening, Jeff. He says he's got one eye on the show while he's working with the other. Who said men can't multitask? Good one, Jeff. Who else have we got in? Hey, New Durham Junction is in there. He is. He's all sorted now. Who else is in? The Growler Blackwood Engage Layout. Good evening to you. Crikey, so we have Skipsy Trains. Thanks for joining us again, Skipsy. Thanks for joining, definitely indeed. Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase. Simon saying, yeah, your local DB Shanker mentioner is here. Evening, everybody. All right, Si, how are you doing? Smallwood Junction joining us. Thank you very much. Hi, good evening to you. Who else have we got in? Mick Lowe, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Flint Hills, Jeff Hammond. Good evening, Jeff. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Eagle Creek, Ben. Hey up, Ben. How you doing, my friend? Eagle Creek Yard, good one for your American modelers, if you like it, or your American trains, as well as CSX Wrensville. Good evening, CSX joining us. Thank you very much. So, before we get cracking with what I've got planned for this week, let's do the usual, and that is YouTube channel members. Thank you very much to all in the list as they're scrolling up the screen for being a channel supporting member, helping to bring everything we show each week, helping to support the channel in just a little bit of a way. From 99 pence a month, you can help support the channel and bring these YouTube Tuesday episodes every week. We are on series 6 now of episode, and it's episode 9. Crikey, already episode 9. So thank you very much, as always, to all of you that are listed in this channel members list. If you want to become a channel member, there is a link in the description of the video, and there is also a join button. Take a look. That's all we're going to talk about it for now. But as I say, big thanks for your support. Right, let's get back to what we're talking about. So today, following on from what I've actually been doing throughout the week, after last week, we looked at the abutments, didn't we? So this week, I had a go at weathering. And I was rather bricking myself because, pardon the pun, because apart from the rock face, I don't call that weathering. I call that painting, really, sculpting. But I've actually done some weathering. No, I've not done locos. I've not done rolling stock. I've been weathering the abutments that we've looked at last week. And I have to admit, if you haven't seen the thumbnail, well, I'm going to show it you because I'm rather impressed. It looks real to me. It was completely random what I did, but how it's turned out is absolutely top notch. I would think an expert would weather them. But I'm no expert. I'm a complete novice. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it as I go along, learning as I go, and obviously showing you how I learn as we go to hopefully help you with your modelling as well. So we're going to be looking at them in a moment, but I think what we'll do is we'll get straight in with our first of the show's shout-outs. So first shout-out for today is a channel that's a 00 gauge modeler. It's a bit of a modern image modeler, and it's a lovely layout. Lots of work going on this layout, including it being remodeled for the 4th time, I believe. Now, this channel is called Colchester International. Now, I do know they have visitors here on the show now and then, a few weeks. So if you haven't checked out this channel, currently sitting to me on my screen, 294 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to it, please do check it out. You will be pleasantly pleased with it. Let's see if we can get him over the 300 mark of subscribers. So yeah, 294. I'll refresh that in a moment. So a lovely bit of East Coast work on this, as well as a bit of West Coast track. I think it's pretty much one of them layouts, one of them modelers, should I say, that's modeler's license. Anything goes. Whatever they feel like, they will run, which is what all of us should be doing, because nobody should tell us what to do, because it's our layouts. We will do and run what we want. So a good one is Colchester International 00 gauge model railway. He has a shed-based layout, and he's currently refurbing his shed, and refurbing the layout for a fourth time. So check it out. Watch him on his progress of his reincarnation or rebuild of the layout. Colchester International is tonight's first shout out of the show. So I'm going to do a refresh of that. We're 2 away from the 300 mark. Come on, 2 more. Please do subscribe. Remember, when you do subscribe, interact with the channel. Give him some thumbs up on some of the videos and even drop him a message on their latest video or one that you really do enjoy watching. Give it a thumbs up and drop him a comment saying you're subscribing after hearing about it here on the YouTube Tuesday with Barnabas Junction. Let's refresh it again. What are we looking at now? Can we get him to the 300 subscribe? Definitely a channel that is worthy of a look, and I do quite like his username. 301. Fantastic stuff. Remember, when you click subscribe, click the bell at the side as well, and then select all to make sure you don't miss any notifications from any channel you do subscribe to. Otherwise, YouTube will only just send you random ones and won't let you know of any new uploads or such and such. So always click on all. So there we go. Fantastic stuff. You are a great bunch of viewers tonight. You are smash that 300 subscriber mark for Colchester International. First shout out of the show. Thank you very much. Let's get to it then. Right. Let's have a look what people are saying in the chat. Thank you. My mega mods are at it again. Where is Tim? Yes. Come on. Right. Everybody, I want you all in the chat right now to put in Scenics weathering. And let's see how fast it takes for the good old scrap line to pop up from under the counter. Let's see how long. Come on then, everybody. Scenics, weathering. Let's see how long it takes him to appear. Because they are the magic words to make Tim over at Scrapline, Model Railway, or weathering to appear. There we go. Keep them going, guys. Keep going. Let's see how long it takes for him to appear. Let's see how many times you can post it while I get ready to show you what I've been doing. Even there, going scrapline, 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 Scenics, weathering. Keep them going. Keep the comments going. He's not appeared yet. Come on, Tim. Where are you? Mark Wilson saying good evening. Come on, Mark Wilson, join in. We want the scrapline to appear. So put in the comments, scrapline, weathering, Scenics. Let's see how long it takes for him. It's like calling him Beetlejuice. Don't say it 3 times. Smallwood Junction, good one. Exodus St. David's, there's another one. Yeah, Brayworth Park, evening, Jason and all. Evening to you. Join in with the fun on everybody putting scrapline, weathering and Scenics in the chat. We're trying to make him appear. Even if you can, put in hashtag scrapline. There's a one. Hashtag weathering. Hashtag Scenics. That's a good one. Put a hashtag in front of it. See if that makes him appear. Oh, great stuff. You're all a great bunch tonight. Thank you for joining us. Right, so talking of weathering, let's take it over. Let's switch the camera and take you to what I have been doing. Remember, keep an eye out for scrapline. He'll appear. Right. So, slightly low there angle because we're on a lower table. So last week we were looking at the abutments, and during this week, or today actually, I had a go at my very first bit of weathering. Oh, rust, there's a good one, yeah. And can you see the difference? In the far corner is one not weathered, and the one I have done today is this. I am super pleased with how that's turned out. Super pleased. So we're going to be having a look at how I achieved that. And I can tell you now, don't be scared like me, because this was really, really easy. Really easy. And you can tell, if you look carefully, look at all them bushes at the bottom, hiding the bottom bit. Well, you didn't screw that one up, he says. Yes. So yeah, I've hidden the screw and the bottom area, but I haven't done any further because you might notice there's another bit of edging on there. You can see that I've trimmed it off and added a little bit of extra edging, and we have a edge for the river to go in there. That's a strip of the polystyrene. And I have now got to infill that area. And if we look down, I've got to fill that gap in there. Because when I did this, obviously we were left with virtually no space to put the footpath in. So with putting this little extra lip in, which I will do exactly on the opposite side as well, I'm now going to fill this gap in, redo this area and smooth it out so it goes to this and then drops off down into the river area, which will be getting closer and closer to it. And I have prepared the opposite side as well. I haven't glued that one in yet. That's loose. So that's going to be on this side. And then I'll do the abutments. Once this is done and we've got these pillars finally in place. What I've also done is I've just given this area another skittering of static grasses. It was becoming a bit worn with leaning on it and working with it. And I've put a bit of 4mm muddy from WW Scenics over the top of it to give it a little bit more of an overgrown look, which I think has improved it and actually made it look a lot more like the other side as well. Is the path going on the polyester? Polyester? There's no polyester, polystyrene. No, the path is going to come down here and then it'll go along here. What I've also going to do, because this will be the river edge, so there'll be loads of weeding on this. What I'm also going to do is, what do you have under a bridge alongside a footpath, whether it be a canal or a river? You have railings, protective railings, especially if it's maybe a dangerous river, fast flowing river, that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about putting, you know, like the railings which are on the TMD, those kind, the tube railings. I'm thinking about putting some tube railings along the edge, just underneath here, to protect. Yeah, gonna have some shopping trolleys in the river edge. Don't you worry, there will be some litter and gunk. No, there won't be a troll. There won't be any DB Schenker buses or trains in there. Don't you worry. Before Simon decides to, yeah, there's going to be some U's hanging around and going to have some graffiti under there as well. But I do think that weathering has absolutely turned it out. Let's take you in for a really closer look. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go. So you can see the difference between the unweathered at the far end and the weathered. And it does blend in with the overgrowth really well. There you go. So I knew Simon was going to put that, a DB Schenker loco in the river. So we're absolutely pleased with that. Bit of overgrowth at the top. There will be some trees going along that edge as well to finish off as well. So that's coming up in a future episode as well. Yes, you normally only have a short length of railings where there is a path going towards the canal river. Yeah, there won't be much. There'll only be a little bit. But there'll probably be railings on this edge as well to protect as the footpath comes down to it, because there's going to be maybe some steps on it. Right, so a wheelie bin. I wheelie bin. So let's have a look. I'm going to take that far piece out over there and we're going to look at weathering that section. And we may, because I'm going to do the same with these pillars as well, because that I'm so pleased with. So let's bring the camera back and I will release the section at the back without damaging anything. There it is. So just a small section. That's the piece at the back. So that's what it looks like before. Okay. And you can see where I've shaped it for the embankment as well. Those steel sides with the rivets do look very good. Yeah, you can. They are. I'm so super pleased with those. They are obviously from Jeff Reedman of Jumble Lane, Model Railway Jumble Lane Printing. And if you want to get your hands on some of them, get in touch with Jeff. I did have a little bit of an accident with the one at the end. There's one missing at the moment. It's drying because it broke and I had to glue it back together. Yes, I had an accident. It fell down the loft this afternoon and I broke it in half, but it's glued together. I'm just not putting it back on just yet. But yeah, it's looking at that. In fact, let me just go and get the other piece and I'll hold it in place. Should be dry now. Yeah, it's dried now. So yeah, I had a bit of an accident with this piece. So if we place that on there without letting it fall down the loft, stay, sit. I do think that is quite stunning. What do you think, guys? It broke and it travelled down the river. Yeah. So this is going to be a very, very nice focal point once this is complete for sure. Right. So we've got that section. I'm going to now put the camera, I'm going to turn the camera around. Hello. Place it there and then tilt it down to the desk. Okay, right. So this is our section that we're going to look at weathering. Now, really simple products that I've used, and these are cheaply available. So to start with, I used, this is Matte 78 Revel. Not sure what the colour number is. It just says it's a Matte 78. I can't see no colour number on it. So if anyone wants to know what colour it is, it's Matte 78 by Revel. It's like a grey colour. And you can just see there, Matte 78. Okay. We used that one. And we also used a Humbrol enamel Matte 26. Can you just see that? Matte 26. Okay, so they're the two paints I used. I also used Humbrol Dark Wash. If it'll focus, come up. There we go. Humbrol Dark Wash. And Humbrol Enamel Thinners. That is all I used for this weathering. No airbrushing, nothing like that. It's simply just these four products. Just literally, I've just slapped them on, played around with them until I got what you saw in there. So we don't need those just yet. What we need, and we don't need that one. So the first one we need is this, and I'll get that. And I've got two brushes, one for the thinners, both the same brush. It's a simple paintbrush. One for the thinners and one for the paint, so I don't mix them up. Okay, and so this is simply, you might think, oh my god, crikey, that's really dark, but you'll be surprised. So dip straight away, just dip the paint brush and cover it, just basically cover it with the black on the bottom as the bottom coat. Doesn't matter if you put too much on, because you want it to be patchy. So this is how I did this today. So I'm not saying it's the right way, I'm not saying it's the wrong way, but it's my way. This is how I achieved what you saw. There isn't much in there, so, and you can be as, see, you can see it's patchy, so it's thick there, but it's not as thick up here. But if you want a thicker area, just literally stipple it on, get it all into the nooks and crannies. But don't worry about it if you still get white areas, because you're going to get rid of them in a minute. And I'm just putting a bit on the edge as well, because that's where the joining sections are, and a bit across the bottom, just on the bottom edge, just to get rid of the white. And if we remember rightly, this section here, that's a brick edge. You will probably never see this section, but it's still going to get done because it's on the very far edge of the layout. Okay, that's it. That's all we do with that. So we're finished with that now. Okay, we literally get all the paint off the brush as much as we can, make use of it. We're now going to switch to the brown. Okay, we're switching to the brown now. So this is the matte. That the blacky grey one was matte 76, and this brown one is matte 26. Now this one is quite runny. This is quite runny indeed, and it doesn't matter about mixing the paintbrush with the other. Always stir your brushes up, and again, be as much as you want. Literally, just paint it over the black. Now this is a little bit more runny, so it's just literally going over the black. Because this stuff, because you're putting it on that thick, this actually dries out it dries really quick, especially in there. It's actually really warm in this loft today. Anyone ready for the heat wave that's coming this weekend? Friday, they've given 30 degrees for here. Not looking forward to it. Anyone in the loft, good luck, because it's going to be a stonking, and the sheds, stonkingly hot. So look after your layouts this week coming. It's track bending time, so make sure you've got them expansion joints in your track ready. Right, that is about it. So again, you can see the blend of the black and the brown. So we now put that to one side. We're finished with that for now. We may go back a bit more and do a bit more. So now we want a little bit of this, not much yet, because we're going to put a bit more on this. It has been stirred up, and again, using the same brush, just literally dab it in and dab it on the paint, big blobs, and just stir it in, because it will give a different context, and it will go into the cracks it'll make the paint go into the cracks. Now it looks like it's completely covered. Well, it is, but you will see in a moment that it's not. So there we go, completely cover it, so you can't see any of it. So that's completely plastered in it. Yeah. Now, put that lid back on. Now we get the thinners. So I'll place that down. Let's open that. Now that is drying already, and I'll get the second separate brush for this. Depending on how thin you want this weathering to look at, will depend on whether you wipe off now or wipe off after you've applied the first bit of thinners. Okay, so in the brush in the thinners, paste the thinner on, very gradual. It makes the paint spread out into all the nooks and crannies. That is it. That's all you need. Not much, not too much, just enough, because it will literally spread out everywhere. Okay, so that is it. That is now covered. So you're thinking, well, it doesn't look like what you've done. No, it doesn't. That's because we haven't finished with it. So let me move that paintbrush. You now, I would say paper towel, but I don't think it would be good enough, to be honest. You want something with a bit of roughness. I've got this old towel here, which I use for my modelling. Watch what happens now. This might not be the final stage, but watch what happens now. We wipe it off. Rub it. Literally rub. And depending on how much you want to come off, depends on how rough you basically rub it. So if you don't want it to come off much in certain area, don't rub as hard. There you go. That's just the first coat, and I say if you want to add any more, you can add more. So try and get it right. There you go. Look at that. Now, there's different tones and different blends. If you're not happy, if I think that's still a bit too light, which in places that could very well be, literally for this now, we go back and we start again because that is dry now. So get the black again and we go back over just briefly just over the tops now, because bear in mind there is still some thinners in there. And just work it through so it looks like it's all brown again. You could actually add some greens as well for moss and stuff like that. So we just added done the brush again and just rub over again. This time I'm not rubbing as hard, just rubbing sections. Also, it depends. If you rub up and down, you won't take it out the mortar. If you rub along the mortar edge, you will take it out of the mortar. So you can vary the weathering in certain areas. So that's a little bit more done. If I just cover that, you can't see it too bad. It is quite a lot darker than what it shows on the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this section here and this. So this is before. Now, here's the difference. Before and after. So you can clearly see now the difference between the two. In fact, if I do it that way, you can see how much darker it is from before and after. I really do like this darkness. This much darker than the original painting. Because these did come painted, but only limited painting. I do think that it's more realistic and gives a lot more enhancement of the bricks in the wall. So when this is done and it goes back in, the join section here, you then get your brush again and you blend across the join. So you create basically you're just creating a weathered area to try your best to hide that join. It's not going to be too bothering about being underneath there because not many people are going to see it. But that I'm quite pleased with. Again, if you're still not happy, in fact, I'm just going to add a little bit more wash to that. I'm just going to add a little bit more wash to it because I think it's not brown enough. Remember, watch the wash. Just lay it, put it on, and see. If you do put too much on, literally instantly, just wipe it straight off. Yeah, like that. Get your cloth and wipe it off. That's looking a bit browner now, which is good. See, it's got a little bit darker again. The brown's now gone into the mortar and giving it wax on, wax off. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, great stuff. Really pleased. And that's how I did that. And now as it dries even more, it goes even more duller. So you get even better effect. And you can play around with this as much as you want because at the end of the day, if you put something on and you're not happy with it, literally wipe it off. Good stuff. So that bit's done. I'll place that back on the layout in a moment. But what I want to do, we're going to have a go at these as well. Now, obviously, these are a much bigger surface to do. So and certain areas of these will be darker than others. Now, the very bottom, it's going to be very dark and a bit greeny as well. So I'm going to find some bit of green for that to apply at the bottom. Let me just apologies for that. I've lost my mouse. There it is. So there will be a lot more green at the bottom, and it will darken and get lighter. And then right at the top, it might just get very dark at the top as well. A drier limestone look, nice, says Flymo. Dab some green into it, Jason. Yes, absolutely. Does it lighten up much when it dries out? No, it actually darkens up just that little bit more, surprisingly. So if I just take you back, let me just take you back to what you see there. So that was done using exactly the same technique. And then once it was in, I just went back over like the join there between the two sections. I just went to there and added a bit more darkness in that join area to give an effect of like rainwater running down that gap and around the edge there as well. So you get like a wet swept look to it. So yeah, that bit will be going in now on that far end, and then once it's in place, I will then add a further bit of weathering. Okay. In fact, you know what? While we're here, let's get that section back in. Oh, sorry, just knocked the table. So I'll put that bit back in now without breaking it. There it is. That is now in. Let's make sure it's pushed right up. Yep. And you know what? That's actually quite. Let's take you for a look what it looks like. What do you think? That's turned out quite well. You can just about see the join between. That is actually pretty much ready to roll. That turned out nice again. So looking at distance, that is very good. I'm quite pleased with that. That's worked wonders. So don't be afraid of weathering like I was, because it is quite easy. As you just seen, simple couple of bits of paint, cheap as chips. Let's get on with doing one of these then. I'm going to find a little bit of green paint to add into the bottom while we prepare for the next shout out. Well, I would do, but I can't get my paint drawer open. So the next shout out today, it goes to a channel that has featured here on the channel, on this channel, for these shows. It has been here. I've not seen him in the chat tonight, but this is shout out number 2. Just straighten that out. In fact, I'm going to switch camera. Before we do it, let me switch camera, because the other one's much better. Hello. Right, so we switch camera. That one's better. Right, so second one, if you like your diesels, this is a channel for you. Fifield Junction. Currently sitting on 337 subscribers, so we're looking to bump him up a little bit more. If you do like this channel, then please do check it out. It does have a bit on the about section, double O gauge layout based on the Great Western Main Line between Bath Spa and Chippingham. As well as videos from the layout, you can also see train spotting videos and also building a small stabling point exhibition layout, and videos of that layout can also be seen. There's also much more. Do check out this channel. If you do like what you see, then please do subscribe to it. Definitely worthy of a look. And I was looking at some of his review videos he's done recently, and some good ones actually. Good, straight, honest reviews, and worthy of a look by you guys. So Fifield Junction, you are tonight's second shout out. It's 339 subscribers now, so it is shooting up. Just bearing in mind, if anybody's got any recommendations for shout outs on this show, I do have a good list already, but I'm always looking for ones that might be more worthy of a shout out before I get down to the bottom of my list. So if you do have a recommendation for a shout out, or if you'd like to recommend your own channel for a shout out, if it features a model railway, then get in touch with me, BarnabasJunction@gmail.com. So check out Fifield Junction, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, do interact, click the bell, select all, and drop them a message and some thumbs ups on their latest videos. So one last look before we move on. 340 subscribers, brilliant guys. As always, superb stuff. Let's get back to the action then. So I'm just going to shoot down there to my paint palette box and have a look at if I can find something green to add in the paint. So please bear with me. What do we got? So we got some green acrylic, light green, sap green, that's a good one. What's this one here? Oh, that's a sap green as well, but these are acrylics, it shouldn't matter. Or what's that one there? Emerald green, that's a bit too light. I do have pastels in here as well, but I think I'll leave that for now. Might add a bit of yellow. Where's the green? There it is. Green pastel. So here we go. Should hopefully still work with the thinners, but I've got a bit of sap green acrylic, and I've also got my pastels, my yellow and green. Because we get a bit of yellow in there. Mix it in with the green. So let's have a look at doing this. So I'm going to switch camera again to the desk cam, and we'll have a look at what we are doing. Right. So here we are then. One thing to remember, these go in, I need to remember is these go in a certain way. This is the bottom. So I'm actually going to write on the bottom. I'm going to put a B. I'm going to put a T. There we go. So I remember which way round these go when I put them back in. Oop. Right. Yes, so these go in a certain way. They're shaped, in sanded down shaped to fit underneath there. So let's crack on. First of all then, we're going with the Revel. The matte, which one was it? The matte 78. Matte 78. And again, slap it on. I'm going to be darker at the bottom, going lighter in the middle to then darker at the top again. And I'm actually going to go sideways with these. So I'm going to cover it all to start with. Into the nooks and crannies, as they say. We're going to go all the way around. In fact, I'll just do that side there with the darker bit. And then round the front. This is the back end. Not too fussed about the back end looking good, but it needs to look the same. A bit more. And we're basically just dust painting these on. It's just swiping over. Coat, give it a coat. A bit more. I'm running low on this. What I need to do is do that edge there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go extra thick around the bottom. Because this was where obviously the water area gets to it, and then just blend it up. Blending it up so it's lighter. There we go, and a little bit of darkness, extra darkness on the top section as well. So I'm not being delicate, I'm literally just slapping it on. Not being any preciseness of it. I think that's enough. So there's the darker. You can see there, it's darker at the bottom, lighter in the middle, and gets a little tiny bit more dark again at the top. Now we move to the brown. This is the, again, we get the lid, matte 26, Humbrol enamel. And this is quite thin, this is. So, oh, I've just splashed it on the table. I'll wipe that up. And just go over it all, because the brown's going to be quite prominent on this. Go over it with the brown. Scrap line appeared yet. Quite liberal. Remember, it will wash off, it will spread out. It looks so real that even the sound of the pigeon is realistic. The pigeons are realistic. Got the loft window open and you can hear the birds outside. It's that warm up here. These are quite odor free actually. These are not strong. So no, there's not really any strength of the paint colour. I was quite surprised actually. I thought these were going to be quite strong, but no. These are quite little smelling pots. And so just give it a really thick blending around the very bottom now. What's this now? We want scrap line. We want scrap line. He's probably lurking in the shadows. He'll pop up towards the end of the stream, I bet. He always does. Great guy he is. And again, it's be quite thick around the top area. Just bear in mind, Ellen Reynolds, good evening. It will go everywhere. All over your fingers, you will get it, but it washes off. And I think that will do for that. So now we're going to switch to the wash. This is where it really gets into the nooks and crannies. Okay, so we're now on the Humbrol brown wash, dark brown wash. Now I just pick these up randomly. I have when there's been a bit of a sale or got a voucher or something for a local hobby shop. So these have pretty much not cost me anything. And I want this to get really thick, and it helps to spread out the paints that are already there. And blends them all together. Remember, I'm going to do a bit of green on this. So it looks like, and it pretty much is, I'm literally covering the entire thing in a paint. And for those that you just joined us, you think, oh my, you're just painting it. No, we're not, we're weathering. And if you've been here from the beginning, you'll have seen what we've done already. If you're only just joining us, you're going to see the magic appear very soon. Right, I think we're done. Right, where's the top? That's the top. Okay, so that's the dark wash finished with. Let's put the lid on that so it doesn't get spilt. And I'm just going to wipe that brush so it doesn't get a bit too thick and sticky. Now we're going to move on to the thinners to make that paint properly spread out. So where do we go from here? Here we go. So now we're using the thinners, and we just literally splash it on, especially around the bits that are still white. Make sure it does spread out, because we want the paint in the nooks and crannies. Now I bet Craig's there now showing. You're forgetting the green. No, we haven't. We'll go on to the green in a minute, because we're layering. That's what they call it, layering. Let the thinners do their magic, as they say. Let the thinners do the magic. The thinners do evaporate after a while. There we go. Just getting the last little bits there. Right, I think we've got that. Right, so that's now all darkened off, isn't it? All the way around. Okay, so I'll place that down. Now, the reason why I just wiped that brush is I need to invest in the washes. Now you can see I've never used this. It's still got the lid on. And I think these were just some cheap paints from B&M's actually. These acrylics. Just trying to get the foil off. This is the most difficult part, trying to get the foil cap off. There we go. We pierced a hole and there it pops up. Oh, I've got green paint. Green paint on my finger now. Right, so let's get rid of that. Make use of that. Make use of every little drop. So with the thinners on there, it should, yes it does. I am literally just going to poke the brush, oops, poke the brush, in fact no, I'm just going to dribble a bit of paint on the table. That's what they're for, isn't it? So we've got a little bit of green just here. I'm just going to get the brush, yeah, dry it, dab it off. Yes, that's working. And mix it in, because the thinners will make it spread out. You see the green? It might not, it's not, you don't need much. The thinners, although it's acrylic, the thinners that are already in there are making it spread out. And we'll add some more on afterwards as well. And we can brush this up. You know what? Let's get a nice big dollop. It's going quite a long way, this. So, quite a big bit there. Get it where you want it. Just be literally as much as you want, because it will spread. We haven't done the magic yet. The magic has not happened yet. Which is the front? That's the front. I want these end sections, quite a bit of green on there. Bit of algae, that's what we like. Now we don't want it going all the way to the top, because it's obviously the water has not reached the top unless it's flooded. Right, there we go. You can't really see it on the camera very well. It's not really showing it because of the light. There you can see a bit of green here. This is actually quite green. If I put some on, let's see where needs a bit more. Let's go a bit there. You see it there going on? I'm just brushing it up from the bottom to give the algae effect. Now, that's enough. Look, paint on hands. Now for the magic. It's a cutting mat, not a mixing palette. Yeah, well, it wipes off. Yeah, it does. To be honest, this camera is not giving that paint justice. It is a lot more colourful than you actually think. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off in a different angle this time. I'm going to wipe upwards first. Can you see it starting to do the magic? And I say, rub as hard as you want in certain areas, depending on how much you want to take off. If you want to take only a little bit off, just gently rub it. If you want to take a lot off, really push hard on it. And if not enough's come off, just add a bit more and thinners. That's looking really good. Much better than it did. I've only done the up and down rubbing for now. Right. So you can see it now starting to take shape. I can see the greens. It's not really showing on the camera. What I'm going to do now is go side to side with it and take it out of the mortar. Now you can see the difference. So look, that side's been done. Just rubbed it really hard. That side not been done. So let's do that side. Let's do the ends. Let's wipe the table. I don't want to wipe the green off. Right. That's actually turned out quite well. So there we go. That's the first coating. You can add more. You can see all the different variations of colour in the brickwork. Looking at it, I can still see the green. It's actually stayed on. In fact, if you look carefully, you can just see a brief bit of greening there still. And that's must be quite, yeah, it is. It's quite strong, but not that strong on camera. So if we want to do some more, if we want to loosen it up a bit more, we can get the thinners, and we can go back over with the thinners, loosen it up, spread it about. I'll just do one side for now, so you can see it's smearing a bit. All right, the thinners work at it. So that's one side thinnered. And if we rub at it now, you can see it brings more off. So that's that side. There's a bit more thinners on. You see how much darker it is on that side. So the more thinners you add, the more will come off. That's what you want. You don't want it all plastered in one colour. Yeah. So I'll do the opposite side. So if anyone wants to snapshot that, that's thinnered. And that one, I'm going to add the thinners on it to take the darkness off. I'll focus on taking the darkness off more in the middle. So it eats away at the paint. So I applied thinners quite a lot in the middle. I can see it wiping off the top brickwork, but it leaves, but it make at the same time what it does do, like I said, it encourages it into the brickwork. So just let that eat for a second. I'll get another section of cloth. Really need to get this cleaned. Okay, so before it evaporates, right, that much better. I'm just going to place that. Oh yeah, much better than the previous. So let me get the other one without breaking anything. So before and after. Much better, more realistic, old brickwork. Yeah? And say you keep working it as much as you want until you're happy with your final outcome. Obviously, once they're in place, you can still add a bit more weathering to it to blend in with any scenery or scenics or stuff that you basically got around the layout of the base of it or whatever. But yeah, nice pair of bricks. So yeah, that I am really happy with. So which is the top? This is the top. Do we add a bit more green, or should we leave that? I don't know, the green's really come out well on there. Can't really see it on the camera. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to use up what we got here still. I'm going to add a bit more green around the base. Now I've wiped it off a bit, you might actually be able to see it. Yeah, I'm just looking at me on camera. You can see the green now because we've rubbed off the really dark paint. And I'm going to swipe it upwards so it blends up the brickwork. Now this, just remember, this is sap green. These are Brunel. Let me just put the lid on a second, just in case anyone wants to know what this paint is. Sap green. These are Brunel Franklin Quality Art and Craft Materials. And this was a huge pack of paints that came from B&M's. I think there were a pack of about 20 paints for about, I think they were $4.99. And I've hardly used any of it because it goes such a long way. Just nearly used up all that's here now. That's it. Can you see? You can see the green now. So you can see the algae coating, definitely on that side, on the base, which we like with the water, where the water will be around the bottom of it. Right, and what I'm not going to add some thinners this time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush it just gently. I don't want to wipe it all off. Just get the cloth and I'm just smearing the green up the brickwork. That's it, job done. And there we have. You can see the algae around the bottom. Okay, let's get that back and have a look. Oh yes. Would you like to see? Let's tilt the camera up. Oop, there we go. There we go. I think that really does improve that vastly. Blends in really nicely. Turned out nice again. Yeah, that's really good. And obviously, like I said, if there's anything more to be done with it, once it's in place, you can add finishing touches to it. So if I wanted to, I could just get a brush and put some thinners on that, or even just add a bit more paint. But looking at that, once the water's in, that's looking quite good. That the water will be about a centimetre deep, maybe half a centimetre deep once this is done. So it'll be whatever it is. Just get a, so water's going to be about there. So the water will be about there once it's in. Not going to be a deep one. It's going to give the simulation of being deep. Rather pleased compared to the original, which is not very white. In fact, let's put the two together. There you go. You can see the difference. And looking from a distance, what do you think to that? You think that looks more realistic now? I do, but I do think that looks quite realistic. Yeah, about right with the moss, the greeny, algae, mossy colour. Let's have a look at what people are saying in chat. And see if I've missed anybody. I do believe there's a few more names popping up. Right, let's have a look. Scroll back to where we last saw the chat. Route 7 Railway, Steve. Good evening, Steve. He's joined in. Fifield Junction also took part in the MRSU Around the World 24 Hours in 2021. Yes, he did, actually. And good stuff. Newland Railway's in, saying evening, guys. Good evening, Newland. Thanks for joining us. Fantastic. These subscription numbers are going up. Lurking as always, says Timber. Good evening, Timber. Let's just have a quick drink. I had several pairs of. Well, it says just jumped. I had several pairs. Clybridge Wildcats were made in Dundee, so I had a few pairs of them. Do in effect like that the water has risen due to flooding. Yes. Flint Hill saying it looks so real that even the sound of the pigeons is. Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, that was great. Greener high flood mark, Simon. Yes, we want scrapline. He's still not appeared, has he? Bob Ross is back painting again in your own little world, little fluffy clouds. You can't not love Bob Ross. Fantastic guy. Evening Captain PVA. Who's Captain PVA? Oh, right, that's Alan, isn't it? I just catching up. You haven't told me when you had Wranglers. Did you like them? If yes, take advantage of the sale. Oh, right, it's a conversation between others. I need to invest in them washes. No, it's a cutting mat. Yeah, I've seen that. I prefer layer in jam sponge, says Newland. Jeff, are you sure the acrylic won't react with the oil-based paint? Well, we've just seen there's no reaction there, thankfully. Yeah. I'm going to take some pictures and I'll be posting these first for the members to have a look at. And then later on, wow, the next Bob Ross or Nancy Kamansky. Okay, got you, Jeff, says Digger. Jason, wear gloves when doing this, by the way. Who needs gloves? Does look awesome, says Simon. Thank you, Blue Tree is in. Timo. Sorry, I'm late. Busy day. Cracking stuff. Weathering is great, thank you. Just to clear up about anyone wanting X Jumbo Lane designs, we are in the process of converting all of that range to plant-based, water-soluble resin, low-energy machines. Ooh. Dry brush to green after, yeah. This will then be our eco range and available from SMS and some. Sorry if that delay is causing any issues. Feel free to message me if something is urgent. Thank you, says Timo. Nice pair of bricks. Thus got the darker lower layer. That looks wetter. Tim, would it degrade over time? Perfectly stable once cured. Nicely done. Came out nice again. Looks the part. Looks the part, Jason. Put the 60 on the bridge, says New Durham Junction. Where is it? I can't remember where it is now. Oh, it's oh, there it is. It's in the station. Let me go and get it, just for you. Promise I've not got any paint on my fingers. Let's see if I can balance that on there without making it fall down. There you go. There you go, Craig. A lot better. So about the right depth for the Moss 2. That does stand out. Flipping awesome, says Simon. That view with... yeah, there you go, Craig. I've done it. People are still calling for Scrapline to appear. Painting with Nancy showing our... when you painting them red, I can paint this red if you want. I'll take a picture of it for you, Craig. Don't you worry. I'll send you a picture over afterwards, or I'll post it on the community tab if anyone wants to see it. So yeah, just for Craig of New Junction, we'll spoil him with a picture of his lovely GBRF Class 60 on the bridge. Does look good, though, doesn't it? I'm well impressed. Right, so what are we on? We're on 110. Let me just check on things. There's a newsletter that explains all on Blue Tree models. Rightio, Neil Buchanan. Quick drink. I need to put these lids on these paints. I'll wait before doing the other one because I want to kind of like work on half of this and then work on the other half before. So I'll do all that lot at the same time. Because at the end of the day, they're not supposed to look the same. I'm hoping they won't look the same. So cracking stuff. I still haven't worked on the back area because because I've changed my mind about doing these, and this is all getting painted black, by the way. They're not sure on that level just yet. Might just lower that down. But this is all going to get infilled. It's going to have some. I've still got some Sculptor mold left, so I'm going to infill it with a bit of Sculptor mold, and on top of that, I'm going to put a bit of plaster cloth as well because I want it to drape over, create a smooth draping edge over the foam, and then I'll paint it all. So fingers crossed, next week that side will be all infilled, dried, and we'll either be painting it next week or it'll be painted and we'll be getting the footpath in. And then that's pretty much this side finished. I'm really, really shocked how fast, apart from putting the few trees in here, I've got a few trees and a couple of trees to go in here as well. The trees that are going in there, we're going to be looking at that WW Scenics kit, the tree kit that came with them, as well as using just the standard method that I've used in the past to create the trees, which you can see one of them there. So we will be moving on with completing this side very soon. I can't believe that we got so far with this. It's just this little bit of delaying of changing this. It's just delayed it a little bit because we're just expanding upon it. Hopefully in the next week or so we'll be almost finished. Let me just take that off before it falls. I have glued these two together now. They are glued. They're just. I am going. We talked about the sections above here. I've decided to go with these literally just sitting on the top of here. I didn't want these sticking out anymore. I thought it was quite okay as it was. What I've done is I've just chamfered off that very edge just to blend it into the brick, the wooden board at the bottom. So yeah, I've decided to stick with the straight connection, as I thought putting something as big as those pillars in front of there was basically going to blank them off, and it was going away from what I prototypically was looking for. But yeah, sticking with that, and I'll get the other piece will be glued on eventually when we get over to the opposite side. Right, that's nothing like a good viaduct, says Skipsy. I used to watch Paint Along when I came home from school for lunch. Looking what people are saying in the chat. Reminds me of a scene Thomas goes fishing, but more up to date with the Class 60. Glue, I find at Focus DIY. Oh, by the way, Clybridge, you sent me some information. Thank you very much. I'm looking into it. So definitely, thank you very much for that information. I have looked into it again today. I've looked at it a couple of times. I'm working on that information you sent me. So thank you very much from that image regarding the edge. I kind of took that in, and this is where I've come with this kind of already. So I am working on it. So a huge thank you to Clybridge for sending that information on the embankments. Nice image you sent as well. Great stuff. Right, we're on 116 of the show. Let's get our next shout out sorted. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be you? Well, let's find out. So our third and final shout out of the show for today is going to somebody who's actually in the chat. This modeler who did a great video on some lights he received, which weren't what he ordered. He will now know who I'm on about just from that. I've got to watch your Hattons video, recent Hattons video from 2 days ago yet, but 4 days ago he did a video on some traffic lights that weren't what he ordered, and one was broke as well. So yes, currently sitting on 328 subscribers. Tonight's third and final shout out goes to Newland Railway. So good evening, Newland Railway. You are tonight's third shout out. Model Railway in OOHO and N gauge, BR and Network Southeast through the 80s and 90s, and LNER through the 30s and 40s with a sprinkle of Rule 1. What's Rule 1? Anything goes. Modeler's license. Do check out Newland Railway. 328 subscribers. Well, I'll do a refresh in a moment to find out what they're on. If you do like this channel, then please do subscribe. He is here in the chat. He's just commented, actually. So say hello to him. I'm sure he'll appreciate your subscription. If you have not already subscribed, please do. Click on, when you do click on subscribes, click on the bell and select all for receiving all notifications from Newland Railway for future uploads. And also drop him a message or just say hi to him here in the chat today, because he is a great follower of the channel. Joins us near enough every week. So thank you very much, Newland Railway, for joining us tonight, and appreciate your shout out indeed. Thank you very much. Also, wow. Oh, Blue Tree Models just joined as a channel member at level 3 engineer. He's going to be fixing things up for you guys. I will be getting you into the channel members private group on Facebook tomorrow, so you can see this behind the scenes action and pre-show action as well. So you can get to see things that I get to do that the public have not yet got to see, because that is what channel members get. They get the stuff behind the scenes. So I will get you. Thank you very much, Timo, for joining as a channel member. If you would like to become a channel member, just like Timo of Blue Tree Models has done today, then there is a join button available in the description of this video and with all of the videos, and also on the homepage of the channel. And Flymo is in there with a fantastic super chat as well. Oh my lord, thank you very much for your very, very generous donation, Flymo Chairman 1. Thank you very much for that super chat. And another feature also, just to bring you on, is I've become aware of gifting of channel memberships. Now, to be able to gift a channel membership, you've got to be a channel member. I'm not sure how it's working properly. I've not looked into it. But if you are a channel member, you can buy gifts for other people who are not channel members. You can gift a number of channel memberships for other people that are viewing these videos, these live streams. It's only available during live streams, I believe. I don't know the ins and outs. I've yet to look into it properly. But if anybody is a channel member already and you think somebody deserves a channel membership, you can gift them a 1-month channel membership. Simple as that. But obviously, I think there's something where you've got to, though there's some opt-in policy where you're like to allow you to do it. But trust me, I don't know the ins and outs. If you really want to know about gifting channel memberships, there's lots and lots of videos on YouTube, because channel memberships available across thousands of channels. Check it out. If you want to gift someone a membership, have a look at it. You can do. And bear in mind, when you do gift them a membership, they get a 1-month access to the behind the scenes Facebook private group for the channel. So they get to see some behind the scenes stuff as well. So thank you very much, Blue Tree, for becoming a channel member, Engineer Level 3. And also a huge thank you for that very generous donation. Flymo Chairman 1 of £5 via Super Chat. Thank you much indeed. That, as always, these channel memberships and the Super Chats did just get ploughed straight back in to purchasing the products and stuff to show you what basically these simple things, this weathering, small products like that, just showing you some cheap and cheerful ways to do stuff on your modeling. Let me just grab a drink. It's getting rather warm up here now. So thank you very much, and also thank you if you are a subscriber as well. Do you know what? You're talking to that Class 60. Let me switch the camera. Let's talk to me. Talk to me. Let me talk to the camera. So it helps if I click on the right one. So yes, let me talk to the camera. Let me talk to you. So huge thank you. Yeah, the channel memberships, the super chats, I plough them all straight back into the channel. Recent stuff has been purchased all courtesy of the channel memberships, and it's the stuff that we're putting through on all this at the moment. So huge thank you if you are a channel member, and also if you are literally just a subscriber, which is completely free to subscribe to the channel. So thank you and all to everybody that is a subscriber, past, present, and maybe in the future. Please do subscribe. Give us some thumbs up on the videos. If you do enjoy videos, please give them some thumbs up. That's pretty much it is. As simple as that. Free channel members, maybe for gifting, free subscriptions on for you to make sure you don't miss out on anything in the future. Let's have a look at those in the chat then. All right, subscribe to Newland says Flymo. How does that work? That's as best as I can see. Please do. Obviously, gifting, it's a bit difficult for me to explain right now. If you would like me to do, because I've done some special one-off videos before now, if you'd like me to do a specialized video on channel membership gifting, excuse me, I can do one, a specialized one for the how-to, but I won't do one necessarily because there's lots out there. Don't worry, it's not the paints. It's getting that warm up here now. I'm getting a bit of a sweat on. Let's have another drink. So, no modelers moment as always again this week because nobody sent anything in. So, I've made a decision, and it's all on you guys now. If you want Modeller's Moment to continue, I need somebody to send over something for next week. Preferably somebody that has not featured yet on Modeller's Moment. I know we do repeat some. So if you have already had a Modeller's Moment on the show, you will go to the bottom of the list against those that have not yet been featured as Modeller's Moment. What is Modeller's Moment? It's a part of the show where you take over the channel for a couple of minutes by me featuring some photographs or short video clips of your layout. So it's your moment on this show. And you don't have to have a YouTube channel. You don't need to have social media for your model railway. You might be at home just watching other channels and you want just to show off your layout a little bit. So it's your chance to get your layout shown on somebody else's channel and get some recognition for it. I am looking at bringing Modeller's Moment to a temporary end if we don't get anyone in for Modeller's Moment, probably for next week. Because we're on episode 9 this week, and we've only had, I think, 2 Modeller's Moments in this entire series. So it's a bit bare. So use it or lose it. That's what they say. If you want to feature on Modeller's Moment, then get in touch with me. BarnabasJunction@gmail.com with a few photographs or short video clips via email. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed. One other thing, remember, we have got a competition on this show coming very soon to win yourself some tickets to the DRS Open Day that's taking place here in Crewe in July. If you're looking at going, then stay posted over the next couple of weeks for that. I will be doing a live stream competition. I'm not going to be running it over the period of a time. It's going to be live competition. You guys that are in the stream, if you want to be in the competition, you've got to be in the stream. And I will be taking you guys to put yourself in the competition, and we'll do it live on the stream, and we'll draw the winner for tickets to the DRS Open Day. So make sure you stay posted in the net. That's coming in a couple of weeks. I don't think it's next week. Maybe, but you have to find out. But more than likely, it's going to be in 2 weeks because we're now mid-June, and the open day is mid-July. It's just over a month away now. So we don't want to be leaving it too late before the show, and I don't want to be leaving it too early before doing that competition giveaway for you lucky viewers. Now, bearing in mind, if you are a channel member at level 4, you get automatic entry whether you're on the live stream or not. So if you are a channel member of level 4 and you don't want to be in the draw for the tickets, please do get in touch with me. You will automatically, get put in the draw. So you need to opt out if you don't want the chance to win a couple of tickets for DRS Open Day. That's for Channel 4 members. Automatic entry. So see, the perks can be fantastic. Right, that about wraps up this week. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this weathering. I hope it's given you the opportunity to take on the chance of doing these simple tasks. Don't be frightened of having a go at weathering yourself. It is reasonably easy. As I've shown, I'm no expert. I'm a complete novice. I've slapdash it, and the after-all effect, turns out excellent. I'll do some photographs, and I'll get them posted. I'll send them over to the channel members first to have a good perusal through before the general public, and I'll get them posted onto the community. A couple of photos posted on the community tab as well for you to have a look at, so you can get some closer look at how it's been. So again, everybody that's been joining us today, and everybody that's joined us over the past few weeks as well, and subscribed to the channel, huge thank you to you all. I'm going to bring it to an end right here. It's time for a cuppa and get some and cool down. It's hot. Bearing in mind, it's going to be really hot for the end of the week. So look after your layouts, whether you're a loft layout, bedroom layout, shed layout. Take care of those model railways. Just be aware, heat does cause problems. So until next week, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay well, everybody. And as I say every week, keep on modelling. See you next week. Ta-ra for now.